Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Today we're going to recap the conference championship games, Eagles, Chiefs, rematch here in 2 weeks. And yeah, man, how'd you feel about this weekend, bro?
I mean, from I guess from a prediction side, I kind of like felt pretty confident. I thought it was just hook, line, and sink 'em. But I didn't really have like any emotions towards any of the teams. It was just kind of like business as usual. Like, you know what I'm saying? None to the whole situation. So, like, yeah, I kind of felt the Chiefs. The people are apparently tired of seeing them or whatever. I just feel like at Arrowhead, you're not beating them until I see them beat.
It
You know what I
it, it
mean?
feel it's like, are these new NFL fans? Like, we just got through. It's not like there's a big gap between
No,
the
no.
dynasties.
It's the emotion. It's the emotion. Like even with the Redskins, people don't. Everybody hates Philly. You know what I mean? Even I hate Philly because of how much they hate us. But they're like, I'd rather see, like even you said it. You rather see the Redskins in there than Philadelphia, and it's like
You too.
more people. Nah, I mean I hate both of them motherfuckers. Like I like there can't be a top. I hate them both. But then like as the week goes on, and it's just kind of like I'm just gonna like they're the more talented team. I'm not going to doubt the team that had this magical run, but we kind of broke down the reason the magical run was happening. They were
Hey,
playing teams
remember, I
with good
told you,
defenses.
and that's why I said what I had to say about how the outcome of it's either they win on some Superman Jaden Daniel shit, or they get blown out. They got blown the fuck out. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I
Like, it
mean,
was it
yeah,
was one or the other.
and again, the talent gap basically is showed. You know what I'm saying? Like the talent gap between Philly and Washington is showed. Um, you got cats fumbling the ball all over the place. You got dudes just missing coverages, can't tackle, like not trying to tackle Saquon, can't get all blocks. So when you got all that going on, you gotta you gotta come with it, and they just kind of didn't come with that. Can't come with what they needed to win that game.
Yeah, man, I was mightily disappointed, but what can you do? Like you said, the talent gap. It was just, and it's funny too. Not to keep bringing up my team and whatnot, but it this year for them sort of felt like when the Giants made the playoffs like 2 years ago, and then we beat the Vikings, another
Right, upset
NFC
them.
North team. Yeah, upset them. They had 13 wins to
Remember, they
our
were the
like
luckiest team, and they were like one of the luckiest teams of the year, all throughout
right.
the year. And then they played on the playoffs, and y'all were able to upset them.
Yeah. And Daniel Jones, that game, a lot of Giants fans kind of look back and hate that game, even though we overdid expectations, because that game damn near got Daniel Jones's contract. That nigga went crazy. That
Yeah,
nigga went nuts. But that was a weak
he knew
Vikings
what was on the
defense.
line.
Huh?
I said he knew what
Oh
was on
yeah,
the
yeah,
line.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was playing for that contract for sure. But like, yeah, it's kind of similar. What was the problem with that Vikings team was their defense was super weak and they had a great offense. What was wrong with this Lions team? Due to injuries, their defense was super weak. Commanders come in, do their thing. And then that next week, after we beat the Vikings, we actually lost by 31. Ironically, Commanders just lost by 32. And I knew we were going to lose that game because we were just outgunned on offense, on defense, and it's like, yeah, this is a cute little story. Daboll first year, and Saquon doing this thing, and ironically, Saquon did his thing here, beat these guys by 32, and to me, there's not much to take away from this game besides what I've been seeing from these Eagles wins the whole playoffs, which is the turnovers are killing these teams. Against the Rams, the ball was slippery, the snow. Kyron Williams is fumbling. They're fumbling all over the place. Losing a turnover battle against a team that they prefer to hold a lead, run the ball, and play solid defense. And all right, cool. We know you're trying to pass, so we're just going to let our D line wreck the game and make it easier on our rookie corners over here. And this game sort of felt to me, score wise, how the other playoff games they won kind of seemed and felt like against the Packers with those turnovers and how the game flow was going, it felt like the score should have been them up like 2 or 3 scores. Low key, same thing with the Rams. It was kind of crazy that the Rams were even in that game for
They had a chance to win that
how
game.
long, huh?
They had a chance to win the game.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like the fact that he even had a chance to win that game was so crazy. And at halftime, I mean, this game was what? It was 15 to, was that
12.
much?
Was it 14-12? At one point, I think it was 14-12.
Yeah,
But
at one point
I
I
think I
think
don't
it
know if that
was
was the
like
end of the first
15.
quarter or.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it
so
was at
wait,
the
okay, so it was 15-25. I mean 27, 15-27.
yeah, 15 to 27. But right before that, it was like, all right, they're losing by like 2 points. They're kind of in this joint, and it just kind of got out of hand. I mean, it was like when it was curtains to me, that McNichols fumble on the kick
On
return.
their side of the field. But again, like it goes, it's funny that you talked about how, the team reminds you of the Minnesota, the Giants, and they upset Minnesota. It's like this team has been lucky. It's like it's cliche to be like, oh my God, it's like you got lucky, But literally, they got it based off of luck. They were the ones that were getting turnovers on the opponent's side of the football field. You know what I mean? Like
Against
that's how they.
Baker, yeah.
Right.
If it wasn't for
Yeah,
that, the Bucks are probably
yeah,
here, and that's what I was kind
yeah.
of looking forward to. I was looking forward to, Eagles, go get your lick back against the
Mm-hmm.
Bucks, who just
Or
booted
the
you out of
Bucks
the
beat
playoff.
them. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
the Bucks probably, if like the Bucks were in this game, they would have had some confidence. Like, yo, we can beat these niggas. We beat them in the regular season. We beat them last year. Like, and they probably have something towards the Bucks too. Like, all right, we got to get this back. Like, they got us the last 2 times. Like, yo, come on, let's get these boys. So it would have been a good game. This one was, like you said, this one was a good game until everybody just started coughing up the ball, and like the Nichols fumble. Okay, I get it, but Austin Eckler fumbling is just kind of like unacceptable. And then when you got your veteran presence fumbling in a playoff game, it's supposed to be the most responsible person with the ball outside of the quarterback and Terry McLaurin. It's going to be a long one for you. You know what I mean? That's it right there. Your running back is over here fumbling the ball, and their running back is catching it first touch, taking that bitch 61 yards for 7 points.
Actually, that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a long day for them, because they had a nice, long, methodical drive. They were playing the game exactly how they wanted it to
Went for it
play
on
out.
4th down.
Yeah, the way they scripted it out is going smooth. Now, uncharacteristically, and this is where the game plan gets a little bit tight, you kind of get out of your element a little bit. They kicked the field goal on that first drive, and I had a Redskins fan in my group chat like, man, why didn't we continue going for it? Why didn't we continue going for it? And I'm like, hey,
Again,
man.
it's always it's situational though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so early in the game, and they had already went for it like two times at
To
that point.
even get there. Yeah, to even get
So
there. So it's kind of like, yo, how we going to keep rolling the dice?
yeah, and at that point, you got to give a kudos to the defense because they literally were bending on brick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, we got him here. We understand if it's under 4th and 5, 4th and 4 and under, they're going to go for it. So they got him in a situation where it was a 4th and long. All right, well, now we would be just irresponsible for us to go for it now, because if we go for it now, we're not even taking the points. So I understand. I kind of understood them getting the 3, but I think that was just kind of due to what the Eagles defense did. They made it so they weren't in a position to where they could go for it, even though they were close. They were in the red zone.
Right. And then obviously after they kicked that 3, boom, Saquon. It just felt like, oh, okay, this how this game is going to go, huh?
Yeah, and
Already, because
that was the backbreaker.
Yeah, well, off their first drive. And it's funny, both these games, the game, I kind of was like, all right, yep, this game's over off their first two drives. When I'm talking Bills, Chiefs, as well as Eagles, Commanders, where just the vibe, just the energy, just how it went. It was just like, all right, this team is doing what they do, and I could tell they're going to continue to do this for the rest of the game.
We'll get to you on that one, on that Bills and Kansas City Chiefs game once we finish that one off. But
yeah. Well, back to this game though, time of possession was pretty equal, but even when the Eagles had a fumble, they got that bitch back. So, just the margin of error, it's a tough one. What I will say, this is just a NFL present day thing. I really like how when teams go for it outside of the red zone, when they go for it on fourth down, you don't bat an eye nowadays. Back in the day, you were to do that's a big deal. That's all they're talking about. It's all we're talking about.
It's also predicated to the team that you watch them play football, because we still got some dinosaurs in the league. I'm saying it's all predicated to, you know what I mean? Like some teams, if you were a Raiders fan or a Seahawks fan, you like, bro, we never go for it. You know what I mean? And you never see those teams go for it. But then if you watching, the good teams, the advanced teams, the teams that are some of the better franchises in the NFL, yeah, they're ahead of the power curve on this thing, and they go for it no matter what the situation. Well, actually, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But that's my point, though. Back in the day, even the good teams, they're not going for it in some of these situations that the good teams are now, which I think is dope to see. It feels very Madden-like. It just makes the game more interesting, less punts. You know what I mean? More points, or it just changes up the game script a little bit, changes up the game flow. And I'm thinking about when it was at the end of the second, 4th and 5, they were near the 50, and they got that shit. And I was just thinking like, yo, like 10, 15 years ago, like this would be a huge deal. This would be where everyone's talking about, like, oh, can you believe they went for it? That was really ballsy. Now it's kind of like, we all doing this, man. Like, fuck it. Analytics, or we just trust in what we got for these plays. We're practicing this a lot more now, so fuck it. We're going to do it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I mean, Philadelphia, they came to play. It's a pretty simple, since they were up early, the game script was simple. We just going to feed Saquon, run it. Whenever we got to throw it, get the first, keep on running. And that balance was just too much for Washington's defense to handle. Part of the reason why it is so important for them to go forward and score touchdowns is so that their defense can kind of play with the league, put a little bit of pressure on the offense to have them start pressing, of the opposing offense to start pressing. Well, when they score 3 points and then the offense comes in, scores a touchdown or a break, nobody's going to be pressing. Everybody's kind of, if anything, everyone's at ease at that point. It's like, all right, well, we just going to go out and play football today. Probably get at these boys if we just stay consistent. And I mean, that's basically what happened. O-line was opening up holes. Saquon was hitting them. Then after that, bouncing into the outside, making them play one-on-one with the backers and the other DBs. So it was just something that was uncontainable for the Commanders. And in order for them to stop that, they would have had to sell out, which leaving wide open one-on-one coverage for the wide receivers and tight end. They all kind of got to their numbers. They ate too. So, Jalen Hurts looked like whatever he was on, he was looking healthy as hell. You got to give it to Kellen Moore and that offense altogether. They played a good game. Regardless of the talent, it was probably lesser talent, but regardless of the situation, they didn't screw it up.
Nah, I feel that. Yeah, besides that, shout out to Ertz. Ertz went crazy. 11 catches, 104. I wonder if the Kansas City is going to be able to take advantage of that with their tight ends, both their tight ends. Even Bates got 2 catches, and they seem pretty crucial at that point in the game. But
so one of the things about Philadelphia, and well, actually most of the teams that were left in the playoffs, they're like tight end funnel teams. Like the defense funnels the passes to the tight ends a lot. Even Dallas Goedert kind of went off a little. Didn't he do some shit? Am I thinking about?
Goddard's been going off this whole
Okay.
playoffs. Like
Okay, that's what.
his
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and then obviously, uh, with my was it? I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. The Kansas City Chiefs with the Bills, even like the Bills, they had Mark Andrews go off against them, and then when the Rams played the Eagles, they had both of their tight ends scored, or both their tight ends did well. I think Tyler Higbee might have been the one to score, but the other tight end had more yards than Tyler Higbee.
Wait, what about Tyler Higbee?
I was saying that both the tight ends, when they played the Eagles, even in the snow, they both did well.
Oh yeah. So how do you think they're going to game plan? How do you think they're going to game plan for the tight ends? Because if the tight ends for the Chiefs are getting active, then they got weapons all over. Juju made his appearance. I forgot that nigga was on the roster.
Yeah, well,
what I mean? Like it just feels like they got all types of receiver. It feels like they have like every archetype of receiver. They're just able to just get busy with anybody, man. You know what I mean?
Bodies.
Like,
where sometimes you just need some. And Pat Mahomes, he give him a few weapons. He use bodies for the rest. But if you can get open, get a little quick, get open real quick. You know what I mean? 7 yards, boom, he can go ahead and hit you. Let the rest do the rest.
Side note, and this is why, like, I get it. I think the Hard Knocks thing is what kicked it off with the whole Saquon Barkley, like, oh, how could y'all let him go type thing. And just honestly, from a Giants fan perspective, I feel him, bruh. I feel like he's like, yo, if I'm going to stay with this trash ass team, y'all got to overpay me. I feel that. I 100% get that. But this narrative that we didn't offer him nothing has just been untrue. It's not true. And we just saw them in the Super Bowl with Miles Sanders. Peep this, man.
Season long, been a very tough team to beat. They showed it today why. Look at this! Will Shipley, take it down to the
It's almost like O-line has something to do with this, man.
So you're saying that running back don't really matter, and if you get some solid O-linemen, you can probably make it work with even Rico Dowdle?
I'm saying that when it comes to what the Bears do in the first round with Ben Johnson, he's not getting no Genty. He's going best tackle available for that reason. Yep, pretty much. Yep.
Right. Because we can probably make it work with anybody with some vision. If the hole's wide enough, no more. You know what I mean? Like we can probably make it work. So again, man, look, that stuff falls on deaf ears. I understand.
All I'm saying is behind this Eagles online, nigga, I'm getting like 10-15, man. Put me in.
Okay,
put me in, coach.
That's what I mean. So again, there's so many plays even against the Rams where it's like, yeah, he's doing it. That's not Saquon making 5 people missing the backfield and then breaking for 86 yards. The hole is open. He's just hitting it and he's exploding. He's using the speed. And it's like, yo, there's a lot of running backs that could make that play. Like there's a bunch of running backs that can make that play. So again, Philadelphia.
Yeah, do you even know what college Will Shipley went to?
Clemson. But it's not. I'm a draft guy. So you know what I'm saying. I know all these players. But when it comes to the Eagles, you really have to commend their front office because they do everything correctly. They let the sucky teams mess up. They draft the good players. They let everybody else do whatever, you know what I'm saying, in free agency. They see what's available. They make the money work. They pay the money to have the stud running back. But this was put in motion 3 years ago. This was put in motion this year or this season with Philly was put in motion 3 years ago when they did invest in the O-line. And you know what I mean? We tried this thing with a Miles Sanders, and while it was good and we can do it with a Gainwell and Sanders, I mean, this guy's available. Why not? Like it was a luxury for them to get Saquon Barkley. But when you have already decent wide receiver core, and you got a decent O-line, you don't have to invest in those things in free agency. So you know what? We can make this money work real quick. Let's go ahead and get Saquon. See what we can do with Saquon. And
Yeah, exactly. And I think
situation.
that's the biggest takeaway from their playoff run right now is the front office. The front office. Go ahead.
What I wanted, I remember this from even back then, and you know what I'm saying, I have notes and all this, but what I was praying for, I remember this too. I was praying for them to draft Bijan Robinson. I was like, yes, I
Oh,
want them to compete.
I remember we were having this conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, please, I'm begging them to draft Bijan Robinson. I was like, they gotta draft him. And it's funny because it would depend on the Philly fan that I talked to. They're like, yeah, Bijan. Oh yeah, I love that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm much rather them have Bijan Robinson and not Jalen Carter and also Saquon Barkley. See what I was doing? I was trying to kill two birds with one stone. But teams suck at this draft thing. And it's like, oh, well, Bijan Robinson, Falcons. They did it again. They let us get CD Lamb. They let the Eagles get Jalen Carter. You know what I mean? Like that's the hardest thing.
Could have kept his ass in Georgia, man.
Yeah,
Could have kept
like
his ass in Georgia over there.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to replace. And now they're talking, oh, we had character issues coming out. Character issues made this man fall to 9. You know how good at football you have to be for you to have character issues, which are true, but you only fell to 9 because Philly's like, look, all right, I get it. He got character issues.
I know me and you kind of feel the same about these character issues. They be overstated. Every year there's like 5 guys that they claim have character issues, and part of it's like race related in my opinion. But with him, there was some bodies. There is a little bit of blood on.
No, I mean, but again,
because I remember exactly when what I mean.
The 8 respectable football teams did the right thing, and Philadelphia was like, "Shit, we don't usually be here at 9, so we gonna go ahead and get the thing that we wouldn't be able to get if we're not drafting at 9." You know what I mean?
Well, another part of it too, and I'm about to bring this to the forefront. Just to show, how they've been doing in the draft. They've been doing some great things here. They went on like a little Georgia run around this time. I think they figured, look, we have the culture in this locker room with these vets, and he has some of these Georgia players that he knows and he's comfortable with. I think we can handle them. And it just became like the perfect landing spot for him. But I mean, look, these past couple years, Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens is over there making plays for him. The Kobe Dean, another Georgia guy.
I'm about to get to I'm gonna get this the guy they got me drafted second. The what's his name? I can't even think. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. The pass rusher. They drafted the pass rusher at 30th with 3rd pick. And Vox was talking about this dude the whole draft.
You talking about Nolan Smith?
Nolan Smith. Yeah.
It's right there, bro.
Yeah. Well, I can't see that shit. So
okay.
They talking about he's talking about all the traits that Nolan Smith got. He's like, yo, we could do some things with Nolan Smith and Micah Parsons. Giving us the whole breakdown. And the professionals let this guy drop to 30th. Like the professionals. Like that's the thing. Like that's why I don't really even trip about the draft, because I'm like, yo, the teams in front of us are just stupid. Like they're gonna do dumb shit. Like there's a team that's gonna do something dumb, like draft Genty in the top 8 or 10 picks. So
don't be surprised if the Raiders get his ass at 6.
They already got a mock there.
And leave Ted McMillan on the thing. You know what I mean? It's like we're going to opt for running back. Like y'all in a position to do that.
So it is just like that's the luxury pick. Running back is a luxury pick. When you did the hard work and you drafted all the linemen and you got a playmaker at wide receiver and all these other things and your defense taken care of, go ahead and get you a running back. You know what I mean? But for the rest of us, the others, it's probably not a good idea for Saquon Barkley to be on our football team. So,
and that's my whole thing with the Saquon thing is, look, it makes sense. We're not going to overpay you to be here, but we understand that they're willing to pay more, and it's a luxury scoop up for them. They were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Miles Sanders has had a terrible game in the Super Bowl as well. And so I don't expect Saquon to be running crazy on the Chiefs of all people, but shit, you got a weapon back there that could be a game changer.
Cook had 136 yards.
Dalvin Cook had 136 yards against who? You talking about?
Casey?
Oh, you mean James Cook?
James Cook, yeah.
James Cook? Shit, man, we'll see, man. We'll see.
So I'm just saying, like, it's not crazy for him to go crazy, but it's like, again, there might be breakdown with Saquon Barkley. This is a magical season. It's a magical season by all accounts. This is this healthiest season in the NFL. His 7th year in the NFL, and also, his team has been playing longer than they ever have since he's been on, in the NFL. So we saw what happened to Christian McCaffrey. He didn't come home with the hardware. We're going to see what happens.
That's what I'm curious about. All things considered, and even with this Commanders game, and I said I like his rushing attempts. I tore that up after like the first quarter. I'm like, yo, if he 60 yards, boom, bro. We got this game. Give Gainwell some burn. Fuck it, let's preserve him. I think they're playing them smart. But just to look at the rest of the drafting, Landon Dickerson in the second, they're getting key positions and they're hitting on these picks and they're working this shit through the trenches. What did Liam Cohen say in his opening presser? We gotta target the O-line. We gotta improve this O-line for Trevor.
And what did they draft? Who did they draft? I was sick as fuck. Who they drafted? Who did the Tampa Bay Bucks draft last year in the first round?
The center, right?
Graham.
Your boy, Graham Barton. Graham Barton, yep. You got to keep getting, because the solid, the elite O-line prospects, you're not catching these guys in third day. You're not. This isn't a position you just save until the end. If you look at these draft positions, Landon Dickerson, 2nd round, Cam Jurgens, 2nd round, and they're being crucial. Huh?
Tyler Stein, 2nd day.
2nd day, but they didn't have a 2nd round pick. So they might have got even a better lineman if they had that 2nd pick. Look at it's just a pattern. It's a pattern. And then last year, what was their issue? It wasn't the D line. Their secondary was some trash. James Bradbury, Cook, Darius Slay wasn't performing up to what he usually does, and they double dipped the position, and that's working well for him. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper
the fact that they were even able to get Quinyon Mitchell is ridiculous. It's like, what are y'all doing?
Bro, it pisses me off. Every draft, it's like, bro, why do y'all keep letting this shit happen? Why is he here?
Because these people are stupid. Because these teams are dumb. They don't know what they're doing. They're listening to the fan base. They're trying to draft so that we can sell some jerseys. We want to make people happy. We don't want to do what's right for our football team. Like, come on. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's like the draft is so unserious, bro. It's crazy. Like, why do you think the same teams always manage to be drafted in the top 5 and 6?
Because they waste those picks. they waste those picks, and now you're here again because you did it wrong. And that's why a team like the Rams, I'm so bullish on them, because they fucking, they sold their soul for that Super Bowl. And as soon as they start getting some picks again, who fell to them? Jared Verse. Looking like early, he might be a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean?
Well, if he can wrap up and tackle the quarterback, not even joking. Like, his pressure rate is insane, but his missed tackle rate is absurd too. And it's like, if he can find a way to just wrap up and take the quarterback down, then he'll be a stud pass rusher.
And I know we're talking a lot about the draft right now, but in terms of that Commanders game, what is there really talk about? That game was over by pretty much the end of the second. Just looking at how this draft went, the first defensive guy didn't go until 15 because all the quarterbacks went early. Tackle, receiver, tackle, then Brock Bowers, and then Latu.
Go back. It's always Atlanta. Like, there's one thing you can do. Like, one thing I realized, look, as long as we straight. The Orlando, like, I used to call the Sacramento Kings the worst drafting team in the NBA. So they got De'Aaron Fox. I was like, bro, I don't want anyone I love to go to this basketball team because they suck. They suck at drafting, and they're just going to ruin them. And that's literally the Atlanta Falcons right now. It's like, yo, Atlanta Falcons are in front of you. You definitely gonna get the fucking player that's gonna hit. Don't even worry about it,
bro. They've gone offense every year for like the past 6 years. It's like, you know what I mean? Them getting Kyle Pitts at 4 is the reason why Brock Bowers, you know what I mean? I think tight ends are going to get pushed up more on the boards now and get drafted a little bit earlier, but I think it was just kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, man, Pitts at 4, that shit's not really working out for them. They keep double dipping. Let's get Bijan, Drake London. We're going to pay Kirk Cousins like 180, and then, bro, you knew you were at 8. There was a great chance that Michael Penix was going to be there. Once again, I keep saying this over and over. It felt like what would have been perfect for them is if they went and spent that money on Christian Wilkins instead of him going to the Raiders. You get Penix at 8. He's like the same age as Jaden Daniels. He's ready. He's ready to play right now. He's not a sit.
Free agency is before the draft though. And I mean, like that sounds good, especially in hindsight 2020. But and again, he's a quarterback.
I don't know why you keep shooting them bail for this Kirk Cousins.
Bro, I mean that no. It's not about them. Again, that ain't about them. That is the draft. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to the draft, I'm a completely different. Even like it's like that's a different ball game. But it's like you can't. No team is approaching the draft like that. No team, especially when it comes to quarterback. If you want a quarterback, you go up to get your guy. So if you didn't do that, you can't assume that picking at 8, oh yeah, one of our guys are going to be there. That would be horrible.
I disagree with you on this every time we talk about it, bro. Michael Penix is always going to be at 8, bro.
Bro. Yeah. What I'm saying to you, you feel like in this draft, because they don't draft like no. The process that they use, they're not going to assume that. If they want a player, like if they wanted them that bad, they should have made dealings to move up. They didn't. He was there. They took him. And again, I'm not saying I agree with it, but that is the process that they went through. They can't say, yo, we want this quarterback, but we're going to just and at 8, we're going to take him. Yeah, that's a good plan, but you better have another plan in place, bro, because if that doesn't work, that looks like they look even stupider than they already look.
Let's look at another team that had a similar process in getting a Sam Darnold, and the difference in, and this just goes back to the Falcons being dumb, because you pretty much did what the Vikings did, just way dumber, and you happen to take the guy that they let go and overpaid the fuck out of him, and then Sam Darnold they're over here saying, oh, he should get some MVP votes, and that's the guy that they got, and what they do. They traded up 1 and made sure they got their guy with the Jets, right?
So but you know what I'm saying? It's all the, you know what I mean? Again, I mean, even that, like, I'm not even trying to like post or anything, but it's like I called out. I was like, okay, I see the play here. All right, I get this. All right, that makes sense. We gotta. It was JJ McCarthy the whole fucking draft side, and it was all about Jim. Anytime Jim Harbaugh could cite his championship winning quarterback, he did. He loved him. And anytime, you know what I mean, there was rumblings, it was always, the marriage was always Minnesota, JJ. They like him. They love him. I mean, there was a time where JJ was talking about he was the number 3rd on the fucking, well, as a prospect. And I was like, there's no way in hell he's number 3.
Austin. I just got an idea. Let's do a separate video where we go through the first couple rounds of the draft, because that could be its own separate thing. And keep in mind, we're going to be going crazy with the off-season content. Me and Austin are super big on the draft. Austin, he remembers the last time they picked around in this spot. They got a Hall of Fame talent, Micah Parsons. So I know he's doing his homework. So stay tuned for that. But point of the matter is, Eagles do a great job at drafting. This is why they're here. This is why they're going to continue to be a Super Bowl contender.
They do a great job in player acquisition altogether. Like
for sure. For sure. And then this is coming from 2 Eagles haters. And I think I hate the Eagles more than Austin does. So
yeah, I gotta say what's true. Like, even if I don't like, I mean, the only reason I don't like them is because they don't like me. But at the end of the day, I gotta say what's true. And you know what I mean? I got to put my bias to the side and all that. And I got to be
Nah,
honest.
same here. I give them their props, but my hate for them goes way deep. It's not just because they hate me. They hate, bro. You know what Eagles fans were saying, bro? Before the playoffs, and I was like, bro, what's go with y'all, bro? This is where y'all mind is at. They're like, we should definitely sit our starters so the Giants could mess up their and let them win, so they could mess up their whatever. I'm like, bro, is that what y'all focus on? You know how many times I've seen that? It's like, yeah, mess up their thing so they can't get a quarterback. Bro, we just won 3 games. Why are you worried about our rebuild, bro? Relax.
Yeah,
relax, all right?
That's what fans do. That's what fans do.
But yeah, Chiefs, Bills, a lot of controversy regarding this game, which you could easily predict. I think it's a lot of, this team's so good, we got to make some excuses. And it's kind of like with any subject, I feel like when you got to pick your battle. So if every game you're just going to cherry pick, oh, well, you see, and I felt like this with the Texans game. Oh, well, they rigged it for the Chiefs. Bro, did you watch the game? Because did this team seem like a team that was going to beat the Chiefs even without those calls? Take those calls out of it. When it comes to wins and losses, there's a lot that goes into that win or loss every time. Every time. And the Bills had plenty of opportunities to get this one. Even on that last play, I don't even like thinking of, oh, well, Dalton Kincaid, he should have caught that. Well, should that have even been the play on 4th down? I don't even think, if the Chiefs are in that position, is that the play? Is that how they go about it? Is that what are they doing? Are they throwing up a prayer and hoping that whatever? And even if they did get that, are we guaranteed that they get the field goal and then they win the game? Like, there's so many levels and layers to this that you can't just be like, this one thing, or this would have happened. Same thing with the Ravens-Bills game with Mark Andrews. Yeah, that's cool. That would have tied the game up, but do they win the game because of that, or do they tie it up?
Everything you saying right now which is why I was like, wait, you think the Bills are going to beat these guys? Like, you predicted that. I'm like, all right, you can't. You said it like, I'm just taking with my emotions or whatever. But I was like, bro, the Chiefs
I was going with my
winning. Gut. You know what I mean? Like, your gut was right over with the over or whatever because they went berserk in the second quarter. But you know what I mean? Like, the Chiefs are winning, regardless. If you feel like, again, it goes back to even what you say with the players that feel like, oh, they cheat or whatever. Okay, well, let's go make some money off of these cheating ass motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we bitching?
Right.
Why
I hate that regardless too, because it reminds me of when somebody's mad about their player prop not hitting because it's always an over, and it's like, well, if you think they're cheating, why don't you just take the under? You do realize unders people bet like the unders isn't a thing. You think they're rigging this shit?
The under hits more than over does. Like, everybody they lost money. Vegas didn't want this to go over. Vegas wanted this to go under. You know what I'm saying? But you had a
why didn't Vegas rig it to go under? You know what I mean? Like, if it's so rigged, why don't and I'd like to do this maybe in a separate video. We could look at it throughout the season of Vegas and their biggest L's and how much money was on this certain thing that happened. We even do it with player props and be like, well, what about this week? What about this week? What about that week?
All the money that Vegas lost last week off of Travis Kelce's player prop, they got it all back this week. He had went 14 consecutive games with over 70 yards. And now you know what I mean? And I was fading him. I'm like, no chance he's going to get this shit. There's no chance you let Travis Kelce beat you out of all players. And that's what they did last week. And the Bills were like, look, we might lose today, but it ain't going to be because of old-ass Travis Kelce. And what was he, 2 for 19? You know what I mean? And I said, so Vegas was like, all right, bet. They got their money up. They got their money back from that one. So, betting, like you said, it's a whole different segment. But yeah, bro, in regards to this game, Chiefs are built for this. They built their entire team. They go through the entire season, not the all season, but the season for this moment right here. And the Bills, they got that thing everybody loves called hope on their side always. Well, hopefully this will be the year that we can do it. And, the Buffalo Bills fans don't want to be honest with themselves. I think now they're a little honest with themselves. And obviously, I think the players were a little defeated after this one. But, you play a game where, you had ample amounts of chances to win. And regardless of what you want to, whoever you want to blame, y'all didn't get it done. You can't blame anybody because you're down 3. Your defense got to stop. Your defense got to stop. And Xavier Worthy helped y'all out too by running out of bounds. You get a stop. You get a sack on Pat Mahomes by Jordan Phillips of all people. And it's a 3rd and long. They don't convert and they have to kick a field goal. Usually that's 7 points and y'all are definitely toast. Y'all had a chance to win the game with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. If that was the opposite end, I'm like, oh, well, this is ball game. Chiefs about to win. Chiefs about to go down here. They're going to drain the entire clock. They're going to score a touchdown with 5 seconds left on the clock. And the Bills are screwed. Well, this was the opportunity for Josh Allen to be great. Josh Allen to, get all of that, everything that, you've been telling me about throughout the season and his MVP. He deserves it because he didn't get it last year, all that good stuff. He had a chance to do his thing, and it would have all been deaded. He would have been QB2, like you said before the game said he could submit his QB2 status. I don't think he cares about that, but he could have cemented. And they go out there, they give the ball to the backup running back for a loss of yards, even though James Cook, right? James Cook, is that little bro?
Mm-hmm.
Little bro James Cook has been dicing the Chiefs defense up all game and got 2 touchdowns at this point. So we do that on 1st down. Okay, I don't know whose idea that was, but whatever. On 2nd down, we throwing some bullshit to Khalil. Well, not bullshit, but we throw a screen pass to Khalil Shakir. He get us to like 4 yards. And then they blitz again, which I guess they didn't expect them to be blitzing. So then we get the ball to Amari Cooper and get you a yard or whatever. And then we got that bullshit on 4th down. Okay, this is super anticlimactic, bro. Like, what? Are you serious? Like, this was your shot. Like, this was Disney Plus had been waiting for you to do this. Everybody want these guys on the other side to lose. Come on, Josh. Do it. We've been rooting for you. I'll never forget when this motherfucker first lost. People were tweeting, oh, my God, I feel so bad for Josh Allen. I never heard them say that about any quarterback. They feel bad for him after losing to Pat Mahomes. That was the first loss in the conference championship. We're on conference championship number 3 now, dog. It's over, bro. I'm telling you, it's over not over for them, but I know that they're defeated after this one. They might have let the other 2 slide, but this one right here, bro, no, this one is the one that stays with you. And they might have a rough season, and if it's rough enough, the head coach may be gone. Like, because it's not really his fault, but they're going to probably need some new blood in there. And obviously, Josh ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, entire sentiment I agree with. He's definitely coddled a bit. And I'm a Josh Allen fan, but it's like, look, bro, you just didn't get it done, bro. You didn't get it done. The whole even from, like I said earlier, the first 2 drives from both teams, it felt like they were getting the nerves and the butterflies out, and the Chiefs are like, "This is what we do."
Yeah,
this is what we do. It's like, oh, y'all got butterflies. We don't have no butterflies for y'all. We 3-0 against y'all in the playoff. Yo, we're business as usual. That's what it felt like. It felt like business as usual. And the Chiefs, listen, I feel like a lot of fans, when they're watching these games, a lot of them, because the game is so complicated, because this is chess and all other sports is checkers, they don't really know what they're looking at in terms of how coaching really gets into this. When it comes to the coaching, they were out-coached something serious, bro. Like, that's what it comes down to as well. That might be the biggest factor that I've seen in this game. It felt like every time the Chiefs got in a tight 3rd or 4th down, you didn't know what you're going to get from them. It was going to surprise you. They're hitting you from all angles. It might be a screen. It might be Pat Mahomes with his legs. It might be wide receiver 4, tight end 3. Whereas with the Bills, we know they're going to go for a tush push or a sneak. We know they're going to.
So,
It just felt super conservative. Felt super scared. They played scary, bro. They were coached scary, bro.
well, I mean,
Oh,
again,
scary.
and when it comes down to it, Andy Reid's so funny. Pat Mahomes hasn't had a rushing. He's only had four rushing attempts. Since he broke his kneecap or whatever. One of them was against Philly, and then when he ran the two rushing attempts this weekend, the play that they scored the touchdown on, where Travis Kelce was a lead block, is the identical play that the Bills ran against them. They
When?
ran it in week 14 or week 11, whenever they played this year. That's a play that the Bills run with Josh Allen. Andy Reid installs it into the offense, and they run it to perfection, and they score a touchdown with Pat Mahomes.
That's the key. That's the key word right there. Perfection.
Like,
It just everything, whether it's third or fourth down, gotta have it moments, or it's just the blitzes and the timing of those blitzes. It just feels like everything is executed perfectly, textbook, how they plotted it out, just
because that's
to a
what they
T.
get to prepare for. That's what they get to prepare for. While everybody else is prepared for narratives or this, that, and the other thing, and they got nerves and all that. Yo, we preparing on how we about to beat these fools, bro. Like, we're preparing to beat them. We don't even care if Pat don't throw for 300 yards. We don't care about who touches the ball. We don't care if Trav only got 19 yards. We here to go to the Super Bowl. And we about to just find a way to beat you tonight, bro. Like, all that other bullshit
ironically, the narrative of, oh, they don't score above 30 points. Well, we gotta have it. Boom, 32 for your ass. 32 for your ass. And if I told you the score was 29-32, would you think, oh, well, Pat Mahomes carried it 11 times and got 2 touchdowns on the feet?
Yeah,
No, they do whatever needs to be done to win in that moment for this situation.
And everybody plays championship football. Xavier Worthy catching that catch, and they want to complain, oh, that's them cheating. No, it's not, bro. Stop. That's not them trading. One, it didn't. Both of them motherfuckers had possession of the ball when it went and it hit the ground. So that means it's a catchable. It's considered a catch, and the catch always goes to the offense. We're not going to act like the rules, not the rules. This has been established a long time ago, and we kind of know what a catch is at this point. We used to not. But probably for the past 5 years, we kind of got a general idea of what a catch is. That was a catch. And that's just him doing he just catching Super Bowl. They're a Super Bowl championship team. And everybody want to try to make excuses of why they get here. And it's like, bro, I can break down why they get here. They get here because they're going to blitz your ass on third and long. And then they're going to also blitz your ass on fourth and long. And you can't believe that they blitzed you with a cornerback 2 times in a row. They just got that shit for your ass. That's why you get there. You know what I'm saying? But instead of us appreciating it, or like those fans outside of Buffalo, I get why y'all don't appreciate it. I wouldn't appreciate it either. Right. They're the reason y'all don't have no hardware. But like outside of the other fans that had nothing to do with this shit, it's like, bro, you just not appreciating good football to be watching here. Or you, like you said, maybe you
that's what blows me about the discourse. I just gotta watch. And when it comes to this Eagles Chiefs game, when we see fucking, because that's a coaching mismatch to me. Kellen Moore versus Spags. Spags gonna have something for him, because we talk about Andy Reid off a bye. This is another bye week, bro. And they've been here 3 times in a row, and another time. And another thing, speaking of like the plays that people kept talking about, yo, fans, you can't stare at that yellow line on the TV screen, bro. That's not the actual line of the game, bro. It's not the line of the game. So you run into Twitter and Instagram and TikTok talking about, oh, you see, he got past it. That's not the line you tell you all the time, every week.
Yeah, even still, it's like, bro, they are horrible at the tush push. Let's talk about the, you know what I mean? It's like, we're not even talking about the play. They ran the tush push, what, 3 times? At least 3 times. And it got blown up every time. It's like, bro, why are we mad at the Chiefs for playing football?
And he's doing like the jump over shit that you usually do at the goal line. And it's like he fumbled it. They got it back, but it's like that's the reason why you do it at the.
I think someone swiped that and like tucked it. But yeah, it's still like that, bro. What are you doing? Like again, it's like that's the nut shit. That's the nut shit. You just got away with it. But like I don't know, man. It's just hard. Like I get it. You know, most people they don't like to take necessarily accountability for themselves and look in the mirror. So if I'm rooting for this team, well, it's not their fault that they lost. It's you're cheating for the Chiefs, and it's like, bro, y'all they didn't. So did the Buffalo Bills play a great like brand of football? Like, are we trying to sit here and say that they played an outstanding game, and like? We trying to sit here and say that like it's not bizarre that James Cook got no touches on the last drive of the game, and he seemed to be the X factor in regards to them the Bills actually getting control of the game.
With how close this game was, pretty much the entire game, him averaging 6.5 yards a carry and carrying it 13 times is criminal, bro. This game's not out of reach. Just give him the ball. And this is what I mean when these coaches and these players go against the Chiefs, they're like starstruck.
They get out of their mind. They get out of their body. They get out of their mind. I mean, it's all of them. It was both of them last year. Lamar, they got Lamar this way, and then they got Josh this way. And me personally, part of the reason, I mean, you know, I explained why I was believing in the under. I was like, yo, if I'm the Bills, if I'm able to do this against the number one ranked rushing defense in the Baltimore Ravens and get out of there with a win, if I ever get a chance to do it against the Chiefs, I'm doing it. And they had their chance to do it, and they didn't. They could have won the game on James Cook's back. With 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, they could have won the game off of James Cook.
Bleed it. Just bleed it.
And here's the thing. Josh Allen still would have got the credit for all of it. Josh Allen still would have got the credit for all of it had they had just used James Cook to go down the field and score a touchdown and seal the game.
Wait, bro. You got to realize the refs told the Bills to stop doing that, so they cheated, bro. They told them to stop using James Cook, so just rigged. So
it's rigged, bro. You know, when you really think about it, it's like, yo, come on, bro. Y'all, the coach Joe Brady and Josh, they fumbled it, bro. They tricked it off, and it was just because they were playing the Chiefs, and it became a lot. It was all on them. They felt it. Oh shit! It's 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and if we score a touchdown, we go to the Super Bowl. Oh, I don't know. We're running.
We're gonna put it in our best players' hands.
And I mean, they did. They did. But you're throwing it again.
This is the result you got.
Dalton Kincaid. I mean, 7 times out of 10, he catches that. But it's like, yo, you know what? I really need you to catch it right now. I really need you to catch this pass right now. Because, again, going back to Xavier Worthy, he caught a champion. He was playing like a champion. He was playing like a champion. Even though he made a stupid-ass blunder, he played like a champion that day. It came his way. He caught it. He brought it down. That was a harder catch than what Dalton had to deal with. But Dalton not a champion. And neither is Josh Allen.
Yeah, and you know what's fun? You know what's funny about that catch too? It's like, yo, on the same token, you can't sit here and be like, well, if he caught that, that would have been one of the greatest catches in playoff history. Yeah, and just be like, oh, well,
those passes.
And then on the same token, be like, oh, well, that was hard. Like, yo, you got to pick a side, bro. Was it a difficult catch? Would it have been an amazing catch? Should he have gotten it? You know what I mean? It was you know what I mean? It's a tough moment, but why are they even in that position with that much time on the clock?
I mean,
because if this is the Chiefs, they would have walked them down until the 2-minute warning.
Oh my God! It would have been if we already know how we would have won if it was the Chiefs. We saw them win the Super Bowl like that last year. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like everybody's mad at the Chiefs for playing like champions, but they're not mad at the team that they rooting for like not showing up. They didn't play like champions. Like you can't, you know what I mean? I mean, James Cook did, but nobody else. O-line did. D-line did. D-line was playing like some champions, but yo, our pass catchers, what are y'all doing, bro? What are y'all doing? And Josh Allen, what are you doing? Like, come on, y'all wanted to be champions, but you shooting them bell when they don't play like champions. And it's like, yo, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like there's no excuse. If they were supposed to be Super Bowl bound, they catch that pass. You know what I mean? You saw the Super Bowl when you're in New York, and who was it? David Tyree? Is that his name? Was that his name? David Tyree, helmet catch.
Helmet catch, yeah.
How the hell did he catch that? I don't know. But you know what? Today we destined to be champions, and we about to beat the Patriots. That's what I know. That's all I know. Don't ask me about the catch stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just don't, you know what I mean? And bro, I'm talking from a person that's never seen this shit. So I am the loser. Like I'm the loser. I'm a Cowboys fan. But it's like I'm not going to not appreciate somebody that actually knows how to do the shit I want my football team to do. This is what I want you to play like. That's how I want you to catch the ball. That's how I want us to use clock management. Get down the fucking field and win the game. Who cares about the narrative? Who cares about having to have 100 yards or throwing for 350? Just win.
It just feels like you in your head, you playing against the older brother and you throwing the controller. It's not fair. It's not fair. They're so good. It's not fair.
Yeah. It's like,
Get
bro,
the fuck out of here with that, man.
We're just better than you in January. And I mean that's that. I mean, again, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it fast as hell. But like I'm smacking the Chiefs. Chiefs money line or Chiefs -1 because Vic Fangio's defense has never beat Pat Mahomes. And I think Philly probably has more talent if we're talking about from 1 to 22. They have more talent, but it's Pat Mahomes. And if you're not up 2 scores with 2 minutes left in the game, he's going to find a way to beat you. He's going to find a way to beat you. So until that's not the case, that's how I'm going, baby. 3-peat, and they deserve it the hard way. So, you know.
Yeah, same. And even though they do have a more talented roster, man, this Chiefs defense is balls out, man. They ball out. Their safeties hit like linebackers. The D tackles, they do their thing, and they're healthy. That's another thing. And even when it comes to this Bills Chiefs game, they fumbled 4 times and recovered all of them, man. So when it comes to the turnover battle, that's not even an issue either. Could have, you know what I mean? You had plenty of times. Like you have 60 minutes, didn't get it done. It's tough, but back to the drawing board for y'all. It is what it is.
And it's going to be, bro. It's going to be. They've been able to muster up the strength to get to the AFC Championship more than most franchise ever have. And it's like I think that this one was the one where it's like, yeah, okay, we just can't beat them. Okay, like
I think the silver lining. I'm not sure really silver lining, but I mean, they should get better on defense. I think, this is your first year without Stephon Diggs. You kind of had like a receiver by committee going. Khalil Shakir's doing his thing, but you do need that true X, I feel like. And then you add some pieces to that secondary. Can't rely on Taylor Rapp to stay healthy. I think there's a pathway for them to go, but then you still have to deal with the Ravens. Then you still have to do with what CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans add to their roster because that defense is looking crazy.
Now I got a question real quick. Back to the player acquisition. Now, at what point do you say, okay, maybe they just don't know how to get another wide receiver in here? Because I mean, I feel like they've tried. I feel like they traded away from Xavier Worthy to draft Coleman at 32 to be the X, and then they traded for Amari Cooper, basically premium at the time, like it was like a 4th or 5th round pick immediately after Deontay
Johnson.
No, the other one, the one that played with Aaron Rodgers, Adams. Deontay Adams was traded and he was off the board. They immediately traded for Amari Cooper. So it's like they've taken shots at that new wide receiver one, and like I mean, how many resources
it's only
and Dalton Kincaid was a 1st round pick too that they thought was supposed to be a Brock Bowers. So
was again, he a 1st round pick?
Yeah, he was a 1st round pick. And so, what I mean? It's like, it's not like they haven't thrown resources or tried. They just not hitting.
But that question, the answer to that question is in the question. I mean, it's only been 1 season. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, they've been working at trying to get another playmaker in there for about 2 seasons.
I guess, but did they do it? Has it been that unsuccessful?
I mean, I guess you got to ask them. You got to ask
I
them.
mean,
This is
and
the
then in
game where
terms of
you
the
know what I'm
whole
saying?
Worthy thing, I still get the pick. I think Keon Coleman could develop and do more than be a 50-50 ball guy. But like you
So,
have Shakir there, and I feel like it was like, yo, we kind of already have a guy that does this
which
type
is
of
the
thing.
problem. I think that's the biggest problem, and that's what was pointed out to me. It's like, wait, so Coleman at Florida State, he couldn't really get it done at outside wide receiver. So what they did was they put him in the slot, and he's a big slot. But you got Amari and you got Khalil Secure, like you talked about, and also Dalton's supposed to be the big slot. So you make Buddy go to the outside, but in reality, that's not really his game. So he has to develop that, you know what I mean, that skill set. And that's y'all put him out there. Y'all assumed he could do it. And I mean, I'm not saying that he can't. You know, it's his first year. Like, let him get to year 3 before we know what he is for real. But it's like in this moment when you thought, okay, we can go for it and we can win the Super Bowl, they're using Xavier Worthy to beat you guys. And in that same game, you know what I mean?
And
And I'm, you know what I'm saying?
he did have that chip on his shoulder based off that decision. So, and it was heavily criticized at the moment. Like, you're going to trade with them, and maybe you should stay put and get the guy they want. You
Yeah,
know,
and I
but
mean, and it's funny because they did also trade with him to get Pat Mahomes too. But like that, you know what I'm saying?
that
That's really
might be
like real
what's
hunt.
actually haunting them. That might be the ghost of that move. Might be it. Now, obviously, Josh Allen wasn't in the league
Yeah,
yet and whatnot,
right.
but
But I'm saying from a
shit.
evaluation, from an evaluation standpoint, I just think like I mean, I know this your, you know what I'm saying, second squad, and you know, you
This is
fuck
not my
with Josh
second
Allen.
squad, bro.
You fuck with
This
Josh
ain't my
Allen,
second
you
squad.
fuck with the
I
quarterback.
fuck with him hard
Yeah,
though.
it making your second squad. You don't want to do bad. It making your second squad. So you know what I'm saying. I know you want to be put in a good position, but it's just something to keep an eye out on with how they are at picking these wide receivers over the next this off season
I
and the
mean,
next.
let's just take a quick look at their draft. They got Shakir in the 5th. That was tough. Bernard's been a good linebacker for them. They got James Cook in the 2nd, Kincaid in 1st.
Kyer Elam
Oh
in the first. Bad pick.
yeah, that one's terrible. Osiris Torrance has been doing some decent things for him. Cole Bishop, they had to utilize, but you would hope that somebody that you got in the 2nd wouldn't be emergency play.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hamlins should be playing over you. Like if you're good at football, the Hamlins shouldn't be playing over you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they're not like, I wouldn't say they're like a top 10 drafting team. So it definitely is up in the air. They do make the right decision since they do have these end of the round picks. So I mean, we'll see, but
Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
really give
Josh
a
Allen
fuck.
solves a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing we know for certain. He solves a lot of problems. It's just this he just don't got the answer to this test right here. It is what it is.
Yeah, and at least you get to keep the coaching staff going another year. Joe Brady, obviously the defensive guy is Sean McDermott for the most part. So yeah, try again. You got it. Another year. Just keep it going. Keep it going. You got to knock the dust off and just be like, look, bro, we're dealing with an all timer.
Right. I'm telling you, I think this is the one that did it. I would never have said this before because they always have been tight, but I just think that like if they couldn't get it done in that scenario, I can't imagine a scenario where they can get it done.
The scenario, they're just kind of, if you're a Bills fan, that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping somebody else knock them out, please.
Yeah.
Before we get to them, somebody, for one,
Joe Burrow too.
Yeah. Chargers, Broncos, man, y'all need to win some of those matchups so they don't have the 1 seed, and we need more shots at them getting knocked out versus them. One game they play us, they're there.
We don't want to do it. We don't want to have to do it.
Yeah, like we over that. Give us the Ravens again. Shit.
Right.
Like,
we can see that. Let us see them for a chance at Super Bowl. But yeah, man. That's all I got.
For sure. But like we said, we're going to get into the off-season stuff. We're going to have our picks and whatnot. We have some time. See how this line movement goes. You might do like this week, and then we'll see how the line movement goes away from those picks into next week. And so what we got for y'all. Matter of fact, like and subscribe. Anything else?
Nah, I'm gonna have my play of my prop of the Super Bowl next Tuesday. It's gonna be the prop. Like I'm like 100, the most confident in. It'll be the prop that I've never been more confident in a prop than this prop that I'm gonna be confident in on Tuesday.
All right, that's a bet. That's a bet. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I have no idea what he's talking about, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So
Hey, and shit, y'all might want to listen to him because he was super pressed on that Saquon Barkley first touchdown score, and that joint smacked. So don't sleep.
right. So yeah. I'm gonna have everything to back it up. I ain't gonna just give it to you. I'm gonna give you every reason why. So when it don't hit, it just didn't hit. But trust me, we gonna have the data to back it up.
Facts. All right, man. We out. Matter of fact.
Matter of fact, like and subscribe.